Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here, bringing you another Hearthstone video, this time focusing on Tempo Mage. Now, the deck we're looking at is a deck used by a player called Hotform, and it's a deck that received, a reasonable amount of attention online. I think Hotform used this deck to great success, and let's have a look at this deck. It's your usual Tempo Mage deck. You've got your Mana Worms, you've got your early spells there, which will combo with the Flame Waker. We run 2 Water Elementals in this deck, good for controlling the board, 3/6 minion, very strong, double Mirror Entity, comboing with the Mad Scientist. But here's the interesting addition to this deck from TGT. Nexus Champion Saraad is in this deck. Now, Saraad, every time you hero power, he will give you a random spell. And Saraad was very much an MVP in some of the games that I played with this deck. And we're going to look at some highlights very shortly. But yeah, Saraad did an awful lot of work. When you've run out of fuel, when you've run out of spells, your Flame Wakers have been removed, Dr. Boom has been killed off, Saraad can save the day. And we're about to look at a game against a priest, and you will see how much value Saraad was able to get me. He won me the game, and it was a fascinating game as well. So look at the board here. I have Saraad. He gave me mind control. So I hero powered. Saraad gave me mind control. But look at the board. Thought Steal from the ARCHMAGE Antonidas. It gives the priest ARCHMAGE Antonidas, and now he casts Valen's Chosen. And he has a fireball. So it's Saraad versus the Archmage, and I'm going to steal the Archmage. I'll take Antonidas, and now I'm saying to that priest, you better be able to kill me, otherwise I'm going to hero power, get spells from Saraad, cast those spells, and get the Archmage to give me fireballs. This is quite an insane situation. There's the fireball that he created using Antonidas. And there's the Soul Priest, but it's going to do nothing. It's going to do absolutely nothing. Circle of Healing does nothing. So I have, and there's a spell. And you know what? On this basis alone, I think it's pretty much over. Oh, it's over. 8 damage fireball. The Archmage at 7. But I'm going to have a bit of fun. I'm going to have a bit of fun. I had lethal, but I thought, no, I'm going to prolong this game. He can't kill me. I'm at 30 health. What are you going to do? Honestly.
I have no time.
And he thinks Sylvanas is going to help him. And he thinks a taunt is going to help him. And no, it's over. He knows it. Well, no, he's healed. He thinks he's safe. No, he's done for. So, yeah. Saraad saved me there. He gave me mind control, which was a priest spell, and I used a priest spell against a priest. Absolutely hilarious. Okay, going up against a hunter here with this Tempo Mage deck. So the hunter doing the smart thing, really, silencing my Mad Scientist, not wanting me to get any more secrets out, although I have a secret in play. I have Mirror Entity. So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for damage. I'm going to freeze his face, and I'm just going to go for damage. Freezing the face is a good thing because you're going to deny him the chance to play a weapon. And a weapon combined with a charging minion could be all he needs to take out the Flame Waker. Now, he's going to give me an Arcane Golem, but he's probably going to take out the 2/4. See, there's the weapon. But he's going face because he's a face hunter, and he's therefore, by nature, incredibly greedy. But look at all of these spells in my hand. I'm just going to do huge amounts of damage here. So none of the spells are allowing me to kill the Arcane Golem. So I'm just going to use the Flame Cannon there. Go face, and he gives up. That's it. Really fun game there. Tremendous fun. That game was carried by the Flame Waker and Mirror Entity. Why he gave me an Arcane Golem, I'm not entirely sure. At the very least, he should have traded into the Flame Waker. Not trading there cost him the game. And I know it's in the Face Hunter mentality. Don't trade, don't trade, don't trade. But Tempo Mage can be tremendously aggressive as well. In some cases, just as aggressive as Face Hunter in that early game, depending on the Flame Waker, depending on the spells. Now, the mulligan here, I'm going to keep the Flame Waker. A double Flame Waker, that's really good. So, the question to ask myself is this. Do I want to play Mirror Image, because it's a turn 1 spell, and do I want to use it to shield other minions? Or do I want to save Mirror Image to go with the Flame Waker? I was watching Lothar's stream, and Lothar was happy to play Mirror Image on turn 1 against a Hunter. I guess against a Hunter, especially if it's a Face Hunter, it makes sense because you're trying to block out face damage. Against a Rogue, these early turns are usually quite slow, so you're not really blocking anything out. You'll notice also, I saved the coin. I saved the coin, and I'm saving it for the Flame Waker. I'm going to be greedy. I'm waiting for turn 3 coin into Mirror Image, or actually turn 3 Mirror Image for 0, coin Frostbolt. If the Sorcerer's Apprentice survives. No, it's not going to survive. He has Deadly Poison, and he respects the Apprentice. He understands the need to remove it because it cheapens my other spells. Here we go. So we're getting 4 damage to the face. That's pretty significant. He would need another Deadly Poison and a Blade Flurry to clear this board to get rid of the Flame Waker. If he cannot get rid of my Flame Waker, I've got 3 spells in hand that I can start casting on these next turns, and that's pretty aggressive. Okay, there's the deckhand. There's Eviscerate. It looks like he's going to kill. Yes, he's going to kill the Flame Waker, and he's going to clear. No, he leaves the Taunt on board. That's interesting. I'm going to ping the deckhand. My Mana Worm is protected. Is he going to waste the 3 attack dagger on the 0-2? No, he's going to draw cards. Oh no, there's Backstab. Yep. He's running through all of his options here, all of his aggressive spells. We've seen Eviscerate, we've seen Backstab. Okay, kill it? Yes, brilliant. Okay. So Flame Waker, tremendous card in terms of, you know, being able to not only do damage to the face, like we saw in the earlier game against the Hunter, but being able to clear minions from the board with its extra damage that it churns out. So the Rogue doing rogue things now, playing Shredders, playing a second Eviscerate. We've seen 2. It's so important against these classes to count up in your head or write down what spells you've seen them use. Light's Champion. How interesting.
Depart, foul creature!
Depart, foul creature. There isn't a demon on the board, so that's unfortunate. But once again, that 0-2 is in the way. It's in the way. So he'd have to use up the dagger charge, I presume, or use up the shredder on the 0-2. He's gonna go with the shredder. He wants to preserve his shredder, and I presume he's going to face tank the 4-3. But this mirror entity is going to give me a Drake. You don't want to give your opponent a Drake unless you can clear it. And he's ignoring the Drake. That's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. Wow. That may have been a misplay. Surely there were other options he could have used. So we're going to Flame Strike here. Okay. I was hoping for a 2-attack minion. So now, unfortunately, my Drake gets killed off. The ARCHMAGE is sitting... Oh, Fan of Knives. The ARCHMAGE is sitting in my hand, and we're waiting for a spell activator for the ARCHMAGE. That's going to be so important. Okay, healing up there. He's not in danger of dying, but Earthen Ring, you know, is a 3-3 body on board. It's relatively solid. Wow. Double Water Elemental. That is ridiculously strong, because the game plan now is to freeze the rogue's face. To freeze his face as much as I can so he can't do damage with weapons. That will block the rogue out of potentially winning this game. He feels so threatened by the water ellie that he's going to sap one of them. That's great. So we've seen a sap now. We've seen a sap. We've seen double sap. Interesting. So what is it? Double eviscerate? Double sap? All of these big spell threats being used up, which is fantastic, because when we do play the ARCHMAGE Antonidas, well, on turn 10, when we play the ARCHMAGE Antonidas with Arcane Intellect, hopefully he'll go uncontested, but the rogue is building up a board. And the trouble with the rogue building up a board is there are minions on board that he can combo with the sharp sword or the tinker's oil, and that's not something that you want. So with a rogue, it's an absolute priority in the late game to clear those minions.
So many options.
Did I use the flame strike prematurely there? Should I have saved it for something like this? Hard to say. But he's flooding the board, doing rogue things with that Violet Teacher. Every time he casts a spell, minions go on the board. He's going to freeze his own face because he values killing one of the water ellies. But he can't kill the other one. Okay, or can he? Hang on a minute. Yes, he can? No, he couldn't. Okay, interesting. Right, I have decisions to make now. And these are really tough decisions. I have no choice. I have to play Antonidas. And do you require my assistance? Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Antonidas. Unfortunately, Antonidas is probably going to die, but we've drawn some cards, and we've got a fireball. The Archmage has more or less done his job. Now, I'm going to try and prevent the Archmage from dying here. So I'm going to make the trade there. I'm going to freeze the Violet Teacher. There is Lothar. That's his only reaction, his only play that he can make. He's leaving Antonidas on the board, but I'm now severely limited in terms of what I can do because of Lothar. The fact that he even had Lothar was just so big there. Because if he didn't, I'd have been playing, double Fireball, Frostbolt. I would have gone to town, cleared his board, and got fireballs back to my hand from Antonidas. So the rogue there, super, super lucky. I think he top-decked Lothar there. I think it was a top deck. Anyway, it was so lucky. Now Antonidas is in trouble because he's going to die. The question for the rogue is, do you want to face tank 5 damage, knowing that I have fireballs in my hand? So my win condition will be the 12 damage from the double fireball plus the frostbolt, which is 15, plus maybe a ping at some point, 16. If he face tanks the Archmage, I win the game, more or less. I basically win. He knows that I've probably got burn in my hand based on what spawned out of Antonidas, so he needs to trade with a spell. Yeah, he's gonna kill Antonidas with minions. Yep, and he's gonna heal up because he's worried. Oh, he's healing the. Oh, why would you tank him? You're dead. You, sir, are dead. Hang on a minute. He should have countered those up. He knows how many fire... Oh, right, okay. Maybe he was praying and hoping that I wouldn't spot lethal. But fair enough. Antonidas there was the absolute MVP, and he won me that game. Okay, moving on to another Tempo Mage deck now. I don't know how you pronounce this player's name. iambr? Let's go with iambr. This deck, not much different to Hotform's deck, but what you can see is there is no Saraad. Nexus Champion Saraad is not in this deck. Instead, you have Spellslingers. Now, Spellslingers are very RNG-centric. They give you a spell, they give your opponent a spell. And it can lead to a lot of fun interactions on the board, depending on the spells that you get. So, we're going to give this deck a try now. and see what kind of impact it has. There is no Saraad, but what kind of impact will Spellslinger have? Otherwise, all the other usual cards are in here. There's only one Azure-Drake in this deck, out of interest, but you've got Waterelly, Mad Scientist, Double Mirror Entity again, all of the usual cards that will combo with Flamewaker, and we're joining this match against a Paladin. Now, looking at my hand, do you ping the 1/1, or do you play Unstable Portal? I'm actually going to take the cautious route, and we're going to ping. I don't like leaving things on board. I mean, maybe that was overly cautious. And he's playing another 1/1. He's going to his strategy is to force me to ping. That's what he's trying to do. He doesn't want me to play things, and he's trying to build up his hand. But maybe little does he realise I'm building up my hand too, and I've got some pretty strong cards in this hand. Now, I'm contemplating, do I play the Sorcerer's Apprentice and the Unstable Portal, or do I ping? What's a stronger play? This is a stronger play. The Apprentice comes down, Portal comes down, oh, and I can play a minion. And oh look, it kills Silverhand Recruits. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. So, value there. I could have pinged, and I would have done nothing else on that turn. Or, you play the Apprentice, you play the Portal, you play a minion. That's a pretty strong play. You get board presence, and that's what you're looking for here. So, next turn, think ahead. Well, I've got the Water Elemental. We can freeze the Paladin's face forever. That's pretty good. I mean, what are those 1/1s going to do against a Water Elemental, honestly? So, the Warbots can trade in to a 1/1. We've got two options. I mean, we could have gone with the Portal and a ping to remove those 1/1s, but I think Waterelly is stronger. What I'm scared of is turn 5 Quartermaster. That's the real fear. This looks like a mid-range Paladin to me, and Quartermaster turn 5 is ridiculously strong. Maybe the better play was Portal and ping another 1/1. Just remove as many of them as possible. However, on my next turn, I will have the opportunity to do that, and getting a Water Elemental down on the board is the absolute priority there, just in terms of being able to freeze his face. His weapon still has 3 charge on it, and if he uses it this turn, it'll have 2 charge. So being able to freeze it is strong. He plays the Silverhand Regent there, but doesn't activate it. And I think that's a misplay. There must be something else in his hand he could have played. You want to play the Regent on turn 5 when you can get a hero power in and then summon another recruit, so you get board presence. So I think that was a misplay. What we're going to do now is we're going to ping, trade, and go face. He's now frozen. He's not going to get value out of that weapon, and if I can help it for the rest of the game, he's forever going to be frozen. We want to stop him playing True Silver Champion. That's the key strategy here. Or Cog Hammer. But, well, yeah. Any weapon, really, we want to stop him from playing. Follow the rules with the Eldor Peacekeeper. I don't want to follow the rules, but you're making me follow the rules. I still want to go face with the Waterelly, though. I still want to go face with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to unload with some spells. Okay, that was disappointing. I was hoping they'd hit the minions. Pit Lord. That's pretty good for 1 cost. I don't mind taking 5 damage to the face. And we still get to ping, and we get to freeze the face. And our board is still very strong. A 5/6 Pit Lord contests quite a lot of what he can play, and that's really strong. And next turn, think ahead now, turn 7, it's Dr. Boom. We're in a good state. Murloc Knight.
Reporting for duty.
What's he going to get? Oh, wow. He gets the legendary. And he's he sees the threat from the Water Elemental. He understands the need to remove it. Yes, I understand the need too. Unfortunately, I am still considering the prospect of freezing your face. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Lotheb. I see you, says Lotheb. Yes, indeed. Lotheb is a very strong play there. It'll block out some spells. Trying to, let's say, block out Equality Consecration, which he probably has in hand. Dr. Boom is also strong, but Lotheb's still just as strong because of that spell blocking ability, particularly on turn 7, when you're thinking Equality Consecration. Okay, this time, Silverhand Regent, he's actually playing it properly with the hero power this time. He's gaining board presence and he's passing. I still want to freeze his face, but is that feasible in this situation? We're going to save the Antonidas for turn 9 or turn 10, depending on what spells we can combo. Dr. Boom here is a very strong play, but do I want to get a ping in? No, we're going to play Boom. And now we have to decide how to trade the board off. We're going to freeze the face to begin with. And now we're going to play into Consecration. If he has Consecration, everything will die apart from Dr. Boom. And that's not such a bad thing, because next turn we have Antonidas and hopefully we draw a spell. If not, we have the Scientist and we'll probably be able to play something else. So Consecration, if he plays it, is 4 mana, and then he's only got 4 mana left. So we're still in a very good position, regardless of what happens from now on. And that's the impact of Dr. Boom.
Put this apple on your head.
Right. Sorry, excuse me. Put this apple on your head. There's the Quartermaster. That's the card I was afraid of earlier. And there goes one of the bombs. Now, how does he make his trades here? I froze his face. He can't kill Boom. He can't double trade. Oh, no. Maybe he can. Oh, that juggle. So lucky. So lucky. It actually hit Dr. Boom. Well, actually, would it have mattered anyway? Probably not, because he still had the trade there, regardless of where the juggle went, because of the Abusive Sergeant. Abusive Sergeant, a super aggressive card. Now, we're not playing the Archmage because we can't. We don't have the spell to combo with it. Now I need to consider again how I clear this board. The Knife Juggler is a serious threat. We need to get rid of it. But let's start with the ping. The 2-1, it's sensible to get rid of. I'm not bothered too much about the Quartermaster at this point. The priority is to kill the Juggler. So, but we'll make this trade because the Pit Lord is at 1 health. We're actually going to sacrifice Lotheb. I could have thrown a bomb in and then thrown the Water Ellie in. But my strategy there was to value the Water Ellie because it freezes his face. And there's Tyrion. There is the Paladin Legendary. And hello, there is Arcane Missiles. Now, so many options here. Archmage Antonidas with Arcane Intellect. Antonidas with the Sorcerer's Apprentice with Arcane Missiles. Or maybe we don't play the Sorcerer's Apprentice because we want to save it in case he has Equality Consecration. But here comes the Archmage. We've got to play him. Do you require my assistance? Yes, we do, sir. Yes, we do. Let's just play the missiles. Alright, Tyrion gets damaged. We can kill Tyrion. Let's throw a Scientist in. There's Mirror Entity. We're going to throw a bomb in. We're going to ping and throw the bomb in. So we're going to preserve the Azure Drake. And we're going to freeze his face. He cannot use his weapon now. And therefore, Tyrion's Death Rattle was rendered useless. We win this game. I mean, there can't be any way for him to come back at this juncture in time. I mean, even Equality Consecration does nothing because he's using 6 mana and I have a Fireball.
The victory is yours.
So, Water Elemental was the absolute MVP of this game. Yeah, sure, Antonidas was a heavy hitter, but the Water Ellie prevented those weapon plays, and you've got to think to yourself, there had to be a Coghammer, there had to be some true Silver Champions building up in his hand, and he couldn't play them. That was tremendous. It really was tremendous.
Jaina versus
Right, so we're going to try a game against a warlock here.
shall be mine.
You asked for it.
This is a super interesting hand. Double Mana Worm into Unstable Portal is like a dream combo. It can build you a ridiculous amount of board presence. I'm even contemplating whether to keep the Mirror Entity, just because I have a Double Mana Worm and Mirror Entity is a spell. But no, it's not good practice to do so. You want the Mirror Entity to prop from the Mad Scientist, otherwise your scientists lose a lot of value. Okay, that's even better. Now I have to make decisions. We're definitely playing a Mana Worm. We're definitely going to coin. But what do we play next? We're going to play another Mana Worm.
Hello.
And I'm going to greet him on that note. But it's a Warlock. The question is, what kind of Warlock? Oh, it's a Warlock called Angelus. Maybe a nod to Buffy the Vampire Slayer there. Alright, he used Dark Bomb.
Someday I'll be just like you.
But I'm going to Flood. And unfortunately, I'm actually playing straight into Hellfire here. For, I believe, turn 4? Turn 4 Hellfire, that's what I'm playing into. So, oh, it's Handlock. Okay, it's Handlock. So, we know that Watcher is gonna get taunted up, or he's gonna use Shadow Flame. So here is the key turn. If he has Shadow Flame, I lose the game. This is the risk when you play Tempo Mage. If your opponent has a board clear, you lose. He doesn't have it, but he has an owl. Okay, that's pretty good for him. Thankfully, though, I have spells to buff the Mana Worm. And because the Sorcerer's Apprentice survived, I mean, I can play a lot of these things now. I can play Mirror Entity, I can play the Frostbolt, but I'm actually considering the minion here, because it's a 4/4.
So many viewers.
And we're going to pray for no Shadow Flame. You see, I'm putting him down to 15, which is sort of like a, well, it's sort of nearing that magic number, because he can start playing Giants soon, and we need to be careful about that. You know, at 15, he's going to be playing Giants for 5 cost. But there's the second Flame Waker, and we're going to cast Mirror Entity now. If he's going to want to play Giants, we're going to make it difficult for him to do so. Okay, how do we get through this board though? Those Ancient Watchers are doing what Ancient Watchers do best. They just sit there and watch. Do I want to clear them? Or do I want to pass here and wait for more spells? It's actually a very difficult turn. This 2/4 Flame Waker that's silenced.
I have lethal.
No, you don't have lethal. You just died. You lethaled yourself there. I sacrificed the 2/4 Flame Waker that was silenced because it's of no value to me anymore. And now I'm just praying for no Shadow Flame. He's searching. He's searching. He wants that Shadow Flame. There's Argus number 2, and he's perhaps playing around Mirror Entity. But I get that the Argus there gives me a 2/3. It's a 2/3 I can use. Okay, it's a 2/3 I can use. Now, let's start with thinking about our clearing method here. Frostbolt goes on 7 health Watcher. That's a must. That was useless. And again, RNG with the Tempo Mage, you're really in the hands, your path through the ladder, through constructed games, is in the hands of the RNG gods, because if the Tempo Mage doesn't want to hit minions, he ain't going to hit minions. And that can lose you the game, potentially, as well, especially if you're desperate to clear that board. But we can do some clean trades. I'm going to ignore his 2/3, and we're going to put him to 4. So I'm scared of Molten Giant Shadow Flame. That wrecks me. However, we can draw into a Fireball and kill him later. So there's the Hellfire, actually sacrificing his own defender, and it's over. Thankfully, the Flame Waker has 4 health, and it survived. So there was no way for him to come back, I guess. So getting our quests done there. 5 games with a mage to win. Tempo Mage, very effective if you're trying to quest, because the games are quite often quick. So let's see how we go.
Jaina versus Jaina.
Okay, against another mage now.
For it. My magic will tear
And
you
this could be
apart.
Tempo Mage, it could be Mech Mage, it could be Freeze Mage, it could be Giants Mage. There are lots of different types of mage. Now, once again, being greedy, I'm keeping the Flame Waker because I intend to use it later. I have a coin, that's pretty good. The question to ask myself is, do I want to coin out a Mad Scientist on turn 1? Or do I want to save that coin? A Coin Scientist is board presence, and it gets my Mirror Entity out.
Hello.
And that's pretty strong. So the Flame Waker's going to have to wait. We're not going to be able to use the coin on turn 3 to, let's say, play the Waker and play another spell. So let's just wait. Let's wait this out. There's his Mad Scientist. My guess is Mirror Entity. That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. Terrible. Against a mage. Did I mention how terrible that is? Right, I'm not going to play it, and there's a reason why. If that's Mirror Entity, I want to try and get into a position where I can give him that card and ping it myself, because it has 1 health. So I'm going to be sneaky here, but we'll see how my plans work out. I have options in my hand, though. We certainly don't want to give him a Flame Waker through Mirror Entity. So, yeah, that 0-cost card is going to be super useful. Why couldn't it have been something good, you know? He's not trading. This looks like a Mech Mage to me, which means that probably is Mirror Entity. Okay, it's not a Tempo Mage then. It is a Mech Mage. That's quite scary, actually. Mech Mages with a curve can really do serious amounts of damage in short spaces of time. It's similar to a Tempo Mage, but with mechs. The thing about mechs is that they're minions rather than spells. So you gather a board presence, and as a Tempo Mage, I'm going to end up using my spells to remove those minions, but those spells are not going to be going face. So if he floods that early board, so we've just got to be careful here. The thing about the Mech Mage, though, is you use those spells to remove the mechs from the board. The Mech Mage runs out of fuel. But I use my spells to remove his mechs, I run out of fuel. So, you know, it's an interesting matchup here. What I need to do is be as efficient as possible with my spells. When I was playing the other deck, the Hotform deck, you'll notice in that first game against the Priest, I ran out of fuel. I absolutely ran out of fuel. But Nexus Champion Saraad is what saved me in that game. And maybe going up against a Mech Mage, when you use his spells to remove his mechs and you run out of fuel, there is no Saraad in this deck. In this particular deck, there is no Saraad. All you have is Spellslingers, which are the replacements. But you give him spells too. And that's really bad. You don't want to be giving Mech Mage spells, because some Mech Mages do run Antonidas. Anywho, I triggered his Mirror Entity there with my Pirate. That's what I intended to do. He's going to trigger my Mirror Entity with a 3-3. That's telling me that what he has in hand is better than that 3-3. And he didn't want to give me a mech. So his hand probably has Spider Tanks. It probably has Mechanical Yetis. For Tinkertown. Cut Purse. Okay, now as you can see, I am running out of steam. Dr. Boom is no good. The Fireball, I want to use it on face. However, unfortunately, I will probably have to use it to clear a mech. And that was what I was saying earlier. You use there's his fireball. He respects the Flame Waker. You use your spells to clear board, and you run out of ammunition to hit face. There's the Spellslinger, and I'm in two minds about this. He has 5 cards in hand. I don't want to play the Spellslinger unless I have to. So we're going to coin out Dr. Boom. Cut Purse actually let me play Dr. Boom on that turn. It took me some time to figure that out, but it's such a strong play. Boom on turn 6 is incredible. And now I think I've won this game. Just by playing Dr. Boom. That's not going to help him. Oh, okay, that's not too bad actually, but I have lethal. So Boom on 6 plus a fireball wins the game. So it turns out I didn't run out of ammunition after all. Tempted just to play the Spellslinger. Make him think I don't have lethal. Oh, look, it gave me a fireball. Oh, fireball my own Dr. Boom? Just for fun? No, go face. Okay, it worked out. And Spellslinger also worked out. And it is a card I'm sometimes quite afraid of, because what spell am I giving my enemy? That's the question with Spellslinger. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. We've looked at 2 Tempo Mage decks, one with Saraad in it and one without Saraad. Which one do I prefer? I'm going to go on record to say I prefer the deck with Saraad, purely because I'm not a fan of Spellslinger. That card can give your opponent a serious advantage if you're not careful. You can give your opponent a Flame Strike, you can give them a Fireball. It's quite scary. So I'm going to go on record to say that I prefer Hotform's deck, although iambr's deck here is not bad at all. It is still very, very good. It runs most of the same cards, so it does certainly have value. It depends on whether you want to believe in Spellslinger RNG. Well, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Do try these decks out. They are a lot of fun, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.